What's up, guys? Welcome back. This truly is a 2025 Honda Pilot, even though it's awfully early because we're in March of 2024 to see the next model year on the lot already, without fully redesigning or introducing the brand new model, which neither one is the case in this situation. But this is a touring model, and today, thanks to Hendrick Honda of Bradenton, Florida, I'm going to take in a complete tour of this vehicle. We're going to check it out from the design standpoint, the powertrain, the interior capacities, and the test drive. So if you're interested in watching more videos like this, don't forget to turn that bell notification ring bell, give me a like, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get back to this. It's hard to believe, but Honda Pilot has been around since 2003. So this is 22 years in model year, if you look at this being 2025 model year. So this fourth generation was introduced for 2023 model year. No changes for 2024. For 2025, Honda is dropping the LX, which is the base trim model, but they're adding another model on top of it, which is called the Black Edition. That's going to sit above the Elite. Touring is kind of a sweet spot, in my opinion. It combines the luxury, it combines the utility, and it's still not going to break the bank. We're going to talk about the pricing of it, but let's talk design. So I like this new generation Honda Pilot. It's definitely more manly than the previous generation, in my opinion. I know it because I own a 2019 Honda Pilot. This might be a replacement for it. We'll see. So let's take a look. I like this flat hood. It's got a very slight bulge right here in the middle, and we have the LED turn signals, LED daytime running lights, and the LED lamps. Now we also have this chrome trim piece that goes above this grille, and this grille is in piano black. Huge Honda logo behind here. We have a lot of safety components that hide behind there, but the grille is wide open, allowing the maximum air to get inside of this engine compartment to help with the cooling. And then also right here on the side you have an actual air curtains open that allow that airflow for better aerodynamics of this vehicle. They're covered in this chrome trim piece, and right here at the bottom you also have a set of fog lamps. Now this is all matte black and a little bit of a polished aluminum painted plastic. So if you want to find out what powers up this thing, let's pop the hood and find out. So here underneath the hood we'll find the 3.5 liter V6 naturally aspirated engine producing 282 horsepower, 262 foot-pounds of torque, made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. This vehicle is available with either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. This particular one is an all-wheel drive. Here's one thing that I need to complain about it. This ugly prop stick right here. I mean, if we're spending 50 grand on the vehicle, I would like to see some hood struts on it, but we do have some sound insulation, and we do have a double latch right here for that extra added security. Here in the side, and with the sun shining on it, you can really admire this color. They call it the Radiant Red Metallic, and it's part of the optional colors for Honda. $455, it's money well spent if you ask me. Really shines very nicely, especially in this sun. So as far as the size of this vehicle, it is a mid-size 3-row SUV. Depending on the trim, the size of it is from 199.8 to 200.2 inches, depending on the trim, and it is 70.9 to 72 inches tall. I guess that's because of the roof rails. It also is about 78.5 inches wide. It is a large vehicle, definitely grew in size over the years. I like it. I think it fits just the average size family very well. Let's take a look at the wheel and tire setup. What we have on this particular one is 20-inch wheels. They're two-tone wheels. We have some gray and silver Bridgestone Alenza tires. 255 by 50 is the tire size. And around the wheels, as well as at the bottom of the door, we have the same matte black trim that goes in the front. We also have the same painted and silver trim that's right on top of here, kind of to break it up a little bit. In the mirror itself, we have the turn signal, blind spot assist, and everything on top of the windows, as well as the pillars, are in black color, but you do have this chrome trim at the bottom of it, black roof rails, and we do have the smart entry system for this vehicle that allows you to get in and out, or lock it or unlock it without actually touching any buttons, and that goes for all 4 doors. See, I can lock this vehicle just by touching the rear door handle because I do have a key on me. Overall, a great looking vehicle. Let's see what's going on in the back. So we have this gate spoiler with the third brake light, exposed wiper. Kind of wish that they hid it underneath here. We have the shark fin antenna on top, big Honda logo, Pilot spelled out in here, LED tail lights, but the incandescent reverse lights. You have the rear view camera right here. Touring on one side, all-wheel drive on the other side. It's available as a front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. And then nothing too crazy as far as this portion of the bumper, same color as the rest of this matte black trim. But we have the silver trim that's painted on, kind of like in the front and on the sides. What I'm not digging is the fake exhaust. It's either eliminate them at all or give us the real ones. That's my thought on it. You know, as far as the towing capacities, the front wheel drive will tow 3,500 pounds, all-wheel drive up to 5,000 pounds. So you need the tow hitch, of course, to make it happen. And this is a power tailgate. Let's see how much room we have inside. Now the tailgate opens up, and it opens up nice and tall, but you can always adjust it. See, I'm almost 6 feet tall. I fit right in there without touching it, so there's plenty of room without you bumping your head. Let's see what we have. All right, let's take a look at the top of the gate. Right here, there's a button, and it says hold to set height. So if you want to set the gate height at least like this, then you press it and hold it, and that's the maximum height that this gate will open, right? So if you have a garage door that's a little bit lower, you don't want to scratch the roof, then you can definitely do that. And right underneath this vehicle, you also see that there's a spare tire underneath here, so you do have a spare tire, and this is how much room you have behind the third row seat. Now, depending on the seat position, you can have anywhere from about 19 cubic feet with the seats all the way down like they are right now to about 20 if you have the seats like in the position like this. See what the difference is on the side? That's where the difference comes in from. Like on the Honda website, it says 19 to 21, but that's really where the difference comes from. Now you can fold down the third row seat, of course, pull on the strap, let it go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, that's how we do it. In the third row seat for the third passengers, we have their own vents, cup holders, and the USB Type-C ports. I kind of wish I would see some levers to release the middle row seats, because now you have to get in and do it manually from the inside. Now the middle seat right here, this middle seat, the console that you see, can be removed and nicely stored right here. There's a special magic place for it. But if you don't use it for the seat, look how much storage you have underneath here. Tons of storage. I think it's best in its class. And here's another cool feature. Well, not the 12-volt outlet, that's cool too, but this button right here. See, you push this button. If I stand underneath here, nothing happens. See, I'm not doing anything. But I walk away from the vehicle and the gate will close. So if you have your hands full or anything like this, you don't actually have to push any buttons on the remote or the gate, but the gate will do the work for you. Let's check out what we have for passengers. But before we do that, I want you to take a look at the sticker. See right here, it's a 2025 Honda Pilot all-wheel drive Touring. Here's the price of it. We'll go through it when we're on the interior. $51,150 total MSRP. All right, the door panel, we have a whole bunch of nooks and crannies for extra storage. So look at this. You have a cup holders. You have extra storage right here at the bottom. You have a speaker down here. You have a tweeter right on top. You have the door handle, window control. This is nicely padded. This is even softer plastic. This is hard plastic, but you have the manual sunshade as well to keep people that are trying to peep in there away from it, or the sun away from the kids. I mean, either way, it's working good. Nicely leather wrap seats. This is real leather. This is not pleather like you see on some of the competitors, and I like the design of it. You have a little bit of fabric right in the middle there. There's no perforation, which means that the seats are not ventilated, and I don't see those seats being heated either on the Touring. I think you go to the Elite, you get the heated seats. Now this folds down, right? So if you don't use it as a seat, you can use it as a console, and you can take it out. As I told you before, what I do, I'm not even sure if I can do it with one hand, but you pull on that strap and that releases the back of it, and you can take out the entire seat and store it in the back. Now both seats have some storage in the back, including like those cell phone pockets, but I think that's maybe like an old Nokia can fit in here. And you have the big console with your own vents and your own controls for the rear climate control, 2 USB Type-C ports, and I don't see the regular power outlet. I guess you might have to go with the top of the line as well. Now we do have the panoramic sunroof, and nice and open, and if you want to open up the seat to get into the third row seat, this is how you do it. There's a button, push it, it removes the seat from your way so we can get into this third row area. And here in the third row seat, actually there's plenty of headroom. Look how much headroom I have above my head. I can even recline and feel fairly comfortable. Now let's see, as far as the knee room, let's see what we have. So if the middle seat is all the way back and reclined all the way, I don't have in the room, but I can compromise, right? Maybe I can ask him just to, hey, move the seat a little bit up. Now I can fit my legs in there. And if they're nice enough, I might even ask him to move this whole thing about maybe 1 or 2 inches. And let's see, boom, look at this. And all of a sudden, I have enough knee room, headroom, and shoulder room. I gotta tell you, this is definitely one of the SUVs that I wouldn't mind even going on the longer trips in the third row seat. This is an adult friendly, I have tons of room, and I'm almost 6 feet tall. And here's the situation in the middle row seat. Plenty of headroom, shoulder room, knee room. I can recline even more if I wanted to. If I needed to make some adjustments for the third person in the back of me, I can even move this seat about 1 inch or 1.5 inches and still be fairly comfortable behind a 6-foot adult. Now, if my wife was driving it, she's 5'4", we can adjust the seat much further forward, and then definitely 3 people, one in the back of each other, would be very comfortable. This is the first Honda Pilot that I can easily say that it's got room for 6 adults. Yeah, I know there's a 7th seat in here, but that's for kids. All right, so quality sound check. Oh, nice and heavy. Actually, very nice sounding door. Now on the inside, you have basically the same as in the back. You have this piano black polished aluminum. You have 2 memory seat settings. You also have the window lock controls and some extra storage at the bottom of it. Now both driver and passenger seats have the power adjustments. They are slightly more contoured than the back seats, but very comfortable as well. And as far as the rest of the interior, well, let's jump inside and find out. And here on the interior of this 2025 Honda Pilot, it's still the same as a 2024. I kind of wish that they were upgrade this screen, make it a little bit bigger, but no, not for this year, maybe later on. I don't know. Let's see. This is soft touch as far as the dashboard over here, and you can see this is part of that 12-speaker Bose stereo that you get as a standard equipment on the Touring trim. Now you also have this little shelf that's nicely lined with rubber, so if you put your phone in there, it's not going to slip. Kind of, I think this is leather or vinyl. This is not real leather that we have on the seats, but nicely wrapped as well. And then you have the glove box at the bottom. Now we have this screen, 9-inch screen. I'm going to take a look and see what that does. And let's take a look at the steering wheel first. Steering wheel, it's good to the touch. It's leather wrapped. It's got some stitching on the inside, thicker in the right places. Very tiny pedal shifters. Kind of wish they were more pronounced, a little bit bigger. But on the sides, you have some buttons. So you have the home button that takes you to the main screen, and that's displayed in the instrument cluster. Volume button, seek, track, and voice control. On the other side, you have the cruise control, the adjustments for the dynamic cruise control, adaptive cruise control. And then right here is your instrument cluster. Let's see what we have. And once I hit that home button, it opened up this screen, so we can see maintenance, tire pressure, safety support, no content, brightness, gauge display, settings, warnings, range and fuel, speed and time, audio, phone, navigation, driver attention, all-wheel drive, torque distribution, seatbelt, maintenance. So we're back to here, and that's what can be displayed right here in the middle. So right now it detects that there's one person sitting here, and that one person is me not wearing a seatbelt because I'm sitting in the parking lot, right? So that's going to be displayed here, right on the left-hand side. That's inside of the tachometer. On the right-hand side, you have the speedometer, and then right in the middle, we can see the fuel gauge. The vehicle's got 5 miles, 75 degrees outside, and we have the digital speedometer. Let's see if anything changes if we change the drive modes. And there's tons of drive modes, right? We have Sport, Normal, Econ, Snow, Trail, Sand, and Tow. Nothing really changes other than the display here. And we're gonna go put it in the Sport mode. Yeah, a little bit of a red background, and that is pretty much it. Now on the other side, there's really nothing that we do. Press switch to operate the cruise control. Of course, that's for your cruise control settings. Going out of here, red button means that the engine is running. If you turn it off, okay, it's white. Push it, engine starts, turns red. So if you get inside the vehicle and this is red, that means the engine is running. And we have this chime right here. Now, I want you to just let you know that this has a film on it. So if it appears a little blurry, partially it's because of that film that's on here. But this is your typical Honda system. You have your home screen, you have all apps, navigation that's built in, okay? And Honda has a pretty good navigation, at least had a pretty good navigation. This one seems a little confusing. Now I think it's a TomTom navigation that they're using right now. They used to use Garmin. But let's go back to phone, so you can, I have my work phone actually connected to it. FM, Bluetooth audio, Android Auto. Let's see what that looks like, because it's wireless, okay? Look at this. If you don't like the navigation that comes standard with it, use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. They both have wireless connection. And you can actually get out of here by going back to Honda main screen. Okay, down here at the bottom, you have some shortcuts here. Navigation phone, FM, Bluetooth, audio, smart shortcuts. We go to general settings, vehicle settings, USB, AM, Honda Link. I'm not sure why AM is not with the rest of the media. You have the clock, Honda Link, smart shortcuts, display mode, cabin talk, a spray call that actually projects your voice into the rear speakers. So if you have kids that are not listening in the back, and just make sure that they listen, and it's projected through the rear speakers, if the speakers are on, of course. So go back from here, general settings. So here's your system settings, smartphone connections, display, sound. If you're not sure of how to use something, we can do it through here. Vehicle settings, driver 1, meter setup, driving position setup, keyless access setup, lighting setup, door window setup. You can do it based on those tiles here. Go back to the home screen, and let's put it in reverse. Let's check out the rear view camera. But it might have a little bit to do with this film, because I think this film just kind of messes it up a little bit. But anyways, you have 1, 2, 3 different angles as far as your camera, and you can adjust some settings for it. And by the way, put it in park so we get out of here. So no 360. I think you have to go with the Elite to get the 360. When you got the home screen, and you still have the hard buttons on it. You still have the volume button, Seek Track. I kind of wish the screen was bigger. They have such a beautiful screen on the Accord Touring on the highest trim level. Why not use it here? Vents, hazards, climate control. You have your heated seats. You have your tri-zone climate control. You can see all of them are changing right now because they're synced. We can turn this off, and I'm going to be able to adjust just the driver one, just the rear one if I wanted to. There's a rear settings here, so I can adjust the temperature for the rear passengers. or fan speed, etc. Then you have the rear fan on or off, rear lock. So once we set it up, nobody in the back can change it. It's really helpful sometimes when you have two kids fighting over the temperature. USB Type A, USB Type C, 12-volt power outlet. A bit more storage. You have the wireless charger. Here's where you change your gears. So your drive and sport if you wanted to. Here's your reverse, neutral, and park. Really easy to get used to. That's your drive modes. You can turn off that automatic start-stop feature, hill descent assist, electronic parking brake. You have the brake hold as well. And more storage down here. Up on top, you have the rear view mirror with the HomeLink system. You can also turn on the LED lights if you wanted to. And turn on, or actually open the cover only for the panoramic sunroof. Or if you want to do the whole sunroof, you can also slide this open. There you go, you have this nice windscreen. And then in the visor, a mirror, illuminated. And this is it, guys. Alright guys, so before we take it for a spin, as always, let's take a look and see what these vehicles are selling for. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, for 2025 model year, Honda dropped the LX trim. So now Pilot starts at the Sport trim, which starts at $39,900, EXL $43,200, Trail Sport $49,100. That is an all-wheel drive. Touring takes us back to $47,200, but when you add that $2,300 all-wheel drive, it's gonna take you to $49,500. And then Elite $52,780, and Black Edition, now we're at $54,280. Now, as far as the Black Edition, we have a pretty good indication of what that's going to be based on the Ridgeline. So we have the 20-inch gloss black alloy wheels, head-up display, 10.2-inch driver information interface, and heated and ventilated front seats. So, I mean, that is what the Black Edition is going to add. That's a new trim level that's going to be added for 2025. Now that we know the pricing, let's take it for a spin. Of course, before we take it for a road, let's do some circles right here in this empty parking lot, and let's see how this vehicle turns. I'm going to tell you, it turns on a dime. Really good turning radius, and we also have a fairly stiff suspension. I like that about Honda. It's not too soft. So yes, it's going to give you a comfortable ride, but it's not going to be, you know, overly soft. Especially, you know, if you're driving on an uneven terrain. That's really important. And of course, let's talk about the gas mileage. It is 19 in the city and 25 on the expressway. 21 is the combined number. Slightly increased over the previous generation one. But also, let's talk about this powertrain. The current trend on the midsize SUVs is to go with the 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. We see it already with the Toyota. Both the Highlanders and Grand Highlanders are only available with the 4-cylinder option. Same thing with the Volkswagen. With the Atlas, now they went to the 2.0 liter, basically the same engine as the GTI. And we have Honda that's still holding on. Now we have the Korean twins, right? The Kia Telluride and Hyundai Palisade. Those are all 6-cylinders. Mazda introduced the inline 6-cylinders, which I think is great that some of the manufacturers are going kind of against the trend, kind of to see if to test the market. And now, you know, the new Chevy, Traverse that's coming out, that's going to be the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. So I'm not sure about you. I do like the 6-cylinder. I do like that naturally aspirated engine, and I do like the acceleration, that gradual power that you have. The engine doesn't work too hard. It's not turbo, so you don't have the turbo lag, but everyone is different. Obviously, I mean, with Toyotas, the Grand Highlanders, I mean, they have 3 different powertrains. All of them are 4-cylinder, but, you know, all of them have plenty of power. Now, we include that regular, you know, 2.4 liter turbocharged engine. Then we have the 2.5 liter, the very efficient hybrid on the Grand Highlander. And then we have the Hybrid Max. That's the most powerful one. All of them great choices. But to me, personally, I just like that 6-cylinder All right, well, let's go slight acceleration. It's a brand new vehicle. I don't want to beat on it. I've already driven this, and I have 2019 Honda Pilot, so I kind of have an idea of how they drive. I'm going to tell you, soft as butter, very nice, quiet acceleration. Now, this is the more luxurious model. Right? You also have the Trail Sport. We have a little bit knobbier tires, so you're going to have a little bit more hum from those tires coming to the engine or the cabin inside, but this is super quiet. I also like the visibility on it. I like how big the windshield is. You have nice size mirrors. I think it would benefit from a couple features that you see on some of the competitors. One of them being that digital mirror that you can turn on, and it turns into that rear view camera, because if you have somebody sitting behind you, especially in that middle seat, you probably won't have much visibility in there. The other thing is what you see on some of the higher trim Hyundai Palisades is that blind spot assist, that blind spot monitoring that displays the camera image inside of the gauge cluster. I think that's a great safety feature. A slightly bigger screen, I'd like to see that. I like that Honda came up and now they have the wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. That's all good. Better camera. I mean, but other than that, I mean, this is a nice vehicle, and especially it is under $50,000. Now we're looking at the top of the line Grand Highlander, that Kia Telluride, and Hyundai Palisade. You're in the mid-50s. Same thing as with Honda. Don't get me wrong. We just saw that the Black Edition. See that the V8 sounds right. The Black Edition Pilot's going to be at about $55,000. That's the reality of it. I remember when the first Pilots came out, 2003, they were about $30,000. Now this is going to be a good test of the turning radius right here. Go, no issues. Okay, and we do some acceleration. And again, no complaints here whatsoever. Getting back to the dealership, guys, I gotta tell you, this is a one solid vehicle. This is the luxurious trim, very nice and quiet as far as the ride quality, as far as the design. Of course, you know, if I was really picky and wanted to build my perfect vehicle, what would I change on this? Well, first of all, I would like to get the 360 camera on it. I think not only for, you know, the gimmicks or for the technology, but also for safety. I think it's really important. And have the camera be a slightly better quality as well. I think it would benefit from the bigger screen. I think the vehicle could benefit from that mirror that turns into the camera with the blind spot monitoring that displays in the middle here in the instrument cluster. I think all of these features would be really nice to have. Now, I still think it came a long way from the previous generation Pilot. This is great. It's great size. It's great feel. And, you know, Honda is a very reliable brand. So let me know what you think about and which Pilot trim you choose. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you learned one or two things. And if you did, don't forget to leave me a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell notification ring bell so you won't miss any of the content that's coming out. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.